Today the Alps are particularly clear. Look at that. Beautiful Austrian Alps. Seen through the rigging of the marina at Grado. Beautiful. Best of all worlds here. We're just going to pick up some boat covers from Sarah, who's just along here. We just stopped. We had to stop. Looking out perfectly still water.
Oh look, the sun's on those Alps.
And over there, the Austrian Alps. Look at that.
Snow-capped.
Just stunning.
Beautiful.
They are so close. An ugly old dredge in the foreground. And there's Te Anau with a bird's eye view right there. There she is. Going into the water tomorrow morning. It's been a busy morning. I look a mess. Karen looks her normal beautiful self. We were up at dawn. It's a nice time of the day to be up. When you get yourself out, you realise why. It's just beautiful. Anyway, so we were over there and now we're here. Been washing the decks, washing the hull again. It's amazing how quickly you get dirty black marks around here. We think it's the diesel fumes from the travel lift and the trailer. So he's now yeah, you go and watch the other side. So he's now got us with the slings underneath, and he's just checking that everything's right, and he'll just slowly nudge the slings up. We've got our fenders out ready for when the slings come off. So at the other end, that's where we were. But I doubt that hole will be there for long. It's always a poignant time when we get moved. We settle very nicely in our little corner of the yard. Strange as it may seem, living in the yard isn't actually too bad. There's all happenings and friendly hellos and smiles, and at the end of the day when they all go home we've got the place to ourselves, and it's very peaceful. And that's where we're going. We'll be lifted and we'll go straight in there. Then we're going over to the far side where there's a fuel dock where the masts are, right over there. We're just moving into position to be lowered into the water. Amazing things, travel lifts. They do a great job. They certainly make it easier to get boats in and out. And look at that water out there. Magnificent. We're hoping that we'll be in time to zip over and get some fuel this morning rather than tomorrow. And there goes the trailer that we were sitting on. With the cradle we were in for the last 9 months. Another very handy piece of equipment. That's our home. Gone. We've been evicted. And you just totally rely on them to steer correctly. You wouldn't want to go over the edge. There is a reasonably substantial strip of steel there to minimise the chance of the wheels going the wrong way. But it's a pretty narrow road to run something like this on, and somehow it becomes more narrow when it's your boat that the thing's handling. And you certainly don't want to go over the other end. Here comes the first mate. Yes. Karen's just pointed out the growth on the pilings. That's why people paint the bottoms of their boats, otherwise you end up with that on the bottom. Difference being, like that one over there, they've been sanding it down all morning, and now he's slapping on annual anti-fouling paint, and he'll be doing the same thing next year and the year after and the year after and the year after with copper coat. We don't have to do that. It's 8th year now, and hopefully we'll be good for another 8. Typically 10 to 15 years. Some people get 20, 25, 27 years is the longest I've heard out of one treatment. That's got to make sense. So we're just going the last half metre into the water. Then the usual procedure of making sure the engine runs and all the rest of it, and hopefully all will be well. If it's not, we'll have to come out of the water again, which is an expensive exercise. But our season is about to begin. Right, there goes the sling. It's tension off, so we're now floating. Yep. Te Anau's bearing her own weight now. So we've just left the travel dock and we're sipping over to get some fuel. Oh, it's good to be behind the wheel. It's good to be on the water. And on a day like this, it's fantastic. So we've got to be over there. We'll be back here. We've arranged a berth for the next night. I said up to 2. We're hoping to be gone tomorrow on our way to Venice. Venezia, here we come. So we've been warned that it can be quite hazardous up here when the tide's running the wrong way, or running at all, and it's coming out now. You can just see the eddies are starting to build around the pilings, and as soon as I came out here I felt it. We slowed substantially as soon as I turned into the current. So if you're going to be here in any current, this is the current you want coming away. Apparently there have been issues with people not being fully aware of it and turning broadside onto the current just before the bridge, which is where the fuel dock is, and getting carried broadside bang onto that bridge. Not good. You can do it safely. You can turn well early, and it's called ferry gliding, and it works beautifully. But you need to be aware of it.
So we've just come over to the fuel dock, and we're topping up our fuel. I'm not sure how much we need. I think probably about 1/3 of a tank. We couldn't get fuel when we came back into Grado for the last from the last sail, so David has just wet the tick so that if we get a spill it's not so bad, it won't stick to it, and he's just filling up. There's a huge current, as David was explaining, coming through the channel, and we got caught a bit and had to do a circle and come in the other way. Which...
Ciao, scusa, c'è fondo in distributore? Abbiamo roba in cisterna.
Grazie.
Great service here. Some fuel docks you never get water, you never get paper, you never get a sponge, you never get anything. And diesel is horrible stuff on teak.
And everything's clean. This is immaculate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Good service.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, this little fishing boat is cutting right through the channel and coming in front of us, and we've got to give way to him, unfortunately. There he goes. He'll pass well before us. David's slowed right down. One has to be a bit.
Tide dragging us over.
Yeah, one has to be a bit careful because we've got the tide, the current of the tide, dragging us over to starboard. So yeah, we've just got to be a little bit careful going in here.
Such a peaceful morning. We
Port,
couldn't
the
have had a
port.
better morning to go in the water, and there was a bit of current over by the fuel dock that we had to contend with and get the feel off. So we had a second bite at the fuel dock, but it was all good. And now we're going back where we came from, and then just slipping around the corner into the marina for one, maybe 2 nights. I think only one night. We'll get the sails up this morning. As long as the wind holds off, this is perfect for getting sails up. There's just no wind at all.